Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Barbara is my name and I welcome you to my program. Today we are going to be talking about traditional ways of marriage in Zimbabwe. And so we did these episodes in Shona, and I've got various people who requested that we do it in English so that they will know how we do it in Zimbabwe. And always with me is Bevan. Bevan, welcome back to my program.
Thank you, Barbara.
So, Bevan, I understand our ways of marriage in Zimbabwe, they are different from other cultures. As we always talk about different cultures, how they do their things, and with us it's different. If I'm satisfied with my partner or my boyfriend, as some people might want to put it that way, maybe that now we want to get married. I'm sure that I want to get married to Bevan, and Bevan now is satisfied that he wants to marry Barbara. It's not like we can just go to the High Court of Zimbabwe and then we can put the rings on each other. No. There is something. There are things that are done before we go there, before we wait. For us to go to take that road, there are a lot of people who are involved, like aunties, like our father, even the way when if one wants to go and pay lobola, because lobola is paid. I understand some cultures don't pay lobola, but we do pay lobola. And I've got Bevan to explain that to us. Thank you so much, Bevan. I think you can continue with the
Thank you, Barbara. Yes, this is an interesting topic to many people who might also want to understand how we do our things in Zimbabwe in terms of marrying. Generally, the Africans ask for bride price for their girl children to get married into another family so that they become now related to each other. And in essence, you cannot actually go to any licensed marriage officer, as you were explaining, or to go to a magistrate court and get married there without the consent of your parents. So generally what happens is that you have to obtain your family's consent from the boy's side and also from the girl's side. And in essence, you would have to take the boy to your auntie for her to see the boy and scrutinize him and give you feedback as to what they think about the boy's behavior or the girl's behavior. So like in this case, before you just jump to getting married or to sleeping with someone, you should take that person to your relatives. This avoids a lot of unfortunate consequences that result as a consequence of this, that you just see someone today, you book them into a hotel or a lodge, then you start having affairs with them. So when you find a beautiful girl or when you find a boy who loves you, you should take them to your relatives, like the aunt, the sisters, the brothers, and so forth, so that they know the type of person that you are dating. It is something that is like taboo for you just to get married to someone or to be in love with someone who is not well known to your family where you're coming from. So basically that's the foundation, that the person that you're getting married to must be known, because some people have married criminals. Some people have married or they have dated people who are already married to some other people, and that has brought a lot of consequences to them, negative consequences in this regard, that someone will find themselves pregnant with someone who is already married, or this person is lying to them that no, I'm single and I don't have any boyfriend, but they are married at home. And then because you didn't do your due diligence, you find yourself wanting because you never bothered yourself to do the due diligence to find out who this person really is. And I think it's an integral part of our culture to look diligently into who this person is that is proposing to get married to you or to have an affair with you.
Wonderful. And it looks like we are putting parents very much in this process, in the whole process. Parents are too involved because they do not want any dramas. And like as Bevan was saying, you do your due diligence, and then they will assess the girl. Mostly, yes, I know we can say, yeah, we go to the boys' side and then we go to the girl side. But mostly, the people that I've seen that they are too much looked into are girls, because Vivian was talking about maybe I was married before, or I've got a child, and then this family that I want to get married to, they do not accept that. Yeah. It's a very big issue. If something like that happened to me, they won't accept it. So what I know also is that if Vivian loves me, I know maybe 50% of the boys, they do that. They marry those girls who are not accepted in the family, and then as time goes on, that relationship will be on the rocks unless someone changes her or his behavior. And then, okay, Bevan, now we have gone to both the parents, we have visited them, and we have seen them. What I'm going to do in our second episode is I'm going to be doing the practical thing of what a girl is expected to be doing, and how you are supposed to be dressed. That's what I'm going to be doing. But then now, let's say you have decided to marry me, Bevan. How is the process like?
Okay, I will go back to what you were saying, then I'll revert back to your question. And so most of the times when you go to show your relatives someone that you would want to get married to, it doesn't mean that everyone is going to approve of them. There are various reasons which make people not want to approve a certain person for you. But we have found that most people will just say, I'm going to go ahead and marry this person, no matter the recommendations that you have gotten from these relatives of yours. Some people might say, but this person is much older than you. The man might be like 10 years older than the girl. And then you say, I know it doesn't matter. Or maybe the girl was once married or dated someone else before, or things like that. Or this person is a widow and she's marrying to someone who has never been married before. So people will normally shy away from giving their blessings in this regard and say, no, you cannot get married to a divorcee or a widow or any other circumstances that are unfortunate like that. But then normally we see that people will just say, no, I'm forging ahead and I'm marrying this person. Whatever comes will find me. So, yeah. And some people have lived happily afterwards, but most of the people, as to borrow your words, their marriages have fallen on rocks. So normally it's good to listen to the advice that you get from your parents or from your relatives when you present someone to them. So now after the presentation, reverting back to your question now, after you go to show your boyfriend or your girlfriend to your relatives, then you should arrange to go and pay the bride price. So the bride price is charged differently. Even in Zimbabwe, there are different types of Shona speaking people. We've got different dialects. So that also comes with the differences in cultures. Although mostly it looks the same, but every province that you go to, they've got a certain way of doing things. But ordinarily, they expect you to bring money and cattle. So they will charge you. The monies have got names that they attribute to them. So, for instance, the money that is called Rosambo, I have researched and I have heard that it's the lump sum, the money that you pay to your father-in-law as the lump sum for taking their child away from them. So you have to pay a lump sum that in Shona they call Rosambo. And there are other small monies that you are asked to pay, which just contribute to like accompanying the big money of Rosambo, the lump sum one. So those are the small monies like the Makantinzwani, the Mawerenga Nungo, the whatever else name that they might give. That's accompanying money to get you to the lump sum, the Rosambo. So after you pay, they can charge you either 7 cattle or they can charge you 12 cattle. It depends. This is from my research and from where I come from. Most people will charge you 12. Other people can charge you 7. But of those, you're not expected to pay all of them as a real cattle. You can just pay the monetary value, the representative value of the cattle. So sometimes you are asked to give real cattle. The live cattle might just be 3. If you afford, you can just give them actual cattle. But if you can't, then they will say one cow is going for 300 US dollars. So then they can say to you, are you able to pay us 300 by 5 cattle? Then the rest you pay us in real cattle. So this is what they do. You cannot, in any African culture, get married without paying the bride price. It can't be. It's not regarded as a marriage. So you have to pay something. Other cultures which are not African do not ask for bride price. I know in India they do the dowry, but in African culture you have to pay the bride price for any woman that you would want to marry. Whether you want to marry 5 or 6, you still have to pay for all those women for them to become legally your wives. Or if you want to marry one woman, for her to be legally your wife, you should have paid something. And in this regard, I will hasten say, you become a spouse, someone's spouse, the day they pay your bride price. A partner is different from a spouse. I often hear people say my partner, referring to your spouse. A spouse and a partner are different people. A boyfriend, a spouse, and then a partner, that's so different. A partner might be same-sex, and a partner might be someone that has not paid anything for you in our culture. Even here in South Africa and other traditions, and even in Zimbabwe, you can stay with someone, not legally as your wife culturally, but they stay with you as a partner, which is sometimes referred to as Kuchaya Mapoto in Shona. You can stay with a woman for 10, 15, 20 years, 30 without paying for them. They are not legally, culturally, legally your wife, but they have stayed with you for a long time and you have children. That one is a partner and it's not a spouse. So I think we should just balance our things going forward, knowing the usage and application of our terms.
Yes.
So without paying the bride price, someone is not culturally, legally your wife. But after you have paid, consequences attached to paying. You cannot just now say, I'm divorcing my husband after he has paid lobola or the bride price, because it now involves a lot of other people. You cannot just walk out on your marriage. It will involve your parents and the boy's parents. Once the bride price has been paid, then you will know that you have put yourself in a situation. You cannot now be seen with another boyfriend. You cannot now be seen living your marriage without the proper channels. There are now channels that you have to follow. Even if you see that, oh no, this marriage is sour, you have to follow procedure and protocol for you to get out of that marriage, because literally what they have done is telling your ancestors that they have taken you out of their clan and you now belong to this other clan, and the rituals have been done. Now you don't belong to where you were born. This is why you now change your surname. So rituals are done in the process. After the rituals are done, then you change your surname to your husband's surname. And then for you to get out of that, even if you disapprove of your husband marrying another woman, you cannot just make that decision alone and say, I'm walking out. Someone has paid their cattle there, their cows are at your house, and the money has been paid. You now belong to your husband's side. And this is a fertile ground for abuse in some circumstances for certain women, because someone is saying, I paid for you, and some will take women as their property. So I don't want to delve into that much, but I've just given you a perspective of how this works.
Okay, thank you so much for that explanation, Bevan. And then in our culture also, something that I noticed that is different from other cultures is they take some relatives, like she's just my sister, she's just my aunt. In our culture, my aunt, my brother, my sister, they do play a vital role when I want to get married. So it's not like we take them for granted. They are very special people. My father's sister is the one I have to go to. If I fall in love with Bevan, then now I'm sure that, okay, this is Bevan. He is the one I will take to my aunt, my father's sister. So she's very, very important in the family. I take her there. I will also take her to my sister. So those people play a vital role. So, but my brother now, I think Bevan needs to explain on my brother now the role he has in the family, because now he was talking about the payment of lobola. When someone is going to pay his lobola, Bevan goes with his father. He can go with his father, and they can pay to my brother. My brother might be absent, but then for more information, I think Bevan needs to explain that.
So your brother, to me, is like your father. So he can represent your father. So there's a certain level of respect that I give to your brother. He is like your father to me. I respect him and his wife. His wife is like your mother. So that's how deep the respect runs. So even if I want to do anything and your father is not there, then I just talk to your brother. He can just do the things which your father could have done for me. So this is how the relationships go in our culture. So your brother is very important to me, and his wife is also very important to me. And their children, even your brother's son, I still respect him as your father. It is amazing. Even if he is very young, like 2 years, 3 years, I still respect him. He is your father. So that's part of the interesting things about our culture.
Yes, and on your side as well, your sister, what is her role? Your sister and your father's brother also. Maybe I think if you can also explain their roles.
My sister can stand in my shoes if I'm not there. But my brother, like I have an elder brother, to you, you respect him like my father.
Yes.
So in the event, like you see in the olden days, if a husband died, then the wife would be taken by a younger brother. My elder brother could not inherit my wife because we regarded him as a father. But the younger brother could actually inherit a wife from the dead brother. And we used to do that, although now it has been abandoned in many cultures. Because culture is dynamic, it doesn't remain static. Definitely that thing is no longer being practiced a lot. I don't know if there are people who are still doing it, but most people have abandoned that part of culture. We don't say let's go back to our culture, because culture is dynamic. You cannot trace back culture and see where we lost it or where we got it right. But then those people are still important. My father's brother is as good as my father to you. So you still respect him as my father.
Yes. And also, if I've got problems, my aunt can fix my problems that I'm having in my marriage. My aunt, my sister, his brother, his sister. And the other role that my sister plays, let's say I'm absent, and then I've got a daughter who wants to get married. My daughter can be married in my absence, or I can be there, but my sister will stand in for me. I don't know if I'm correct there.
Yeah, that's correct. Even on my side, I can stand for my brother. I can stand in for my brother where he is married. When they say, where is the bridegroom? And I can actually stand up as the bridegroom. Not on the wedding day. I mean, if there are any things which need to be solved culturally, it doesn't have to be my brother standing for himself. When they say, where is the bridegroom? Then I could stand in for my brother. Even your sister could stand in for you. So if you have a younger sister or your brother's daughter, and you are not managing to have children, or another problem has occurred to you, then I could get a wife from your sister or from your brother's daughter could become my wife. Your younger sister could become my wife, or your brother's daughter could become my wife. This is part of our culture. People are moving away from that, but we just wanted to explain how it was. Because now, if that happens, most people don't take from the family that they were married, but they just take from anywhere else.
Yeah, thank you so much for explaining that, because I also heard some other people saying the son-in-law side they are the ones who can even request to Bevan to marry my younger sister, because they will be saying, no, even my parents also will agree, because they'll be saying, no, we can't take another person from another family. It's better we take someone from the family that we know. And my sister will look after my kids, because I think you know issues with stepmothers and stepfathers. Yeah. But now when it comes to women, they will be saying it's an advantage if he marries my sister, because my sister won't be very cruel to my children, because they are also her children. Yeah. Or even when he was saying also, if maybe if something happens, maybe I can get married to my brother. I'm not saying I'll do that, but that's what they used to do. I can get married to his brother. His brother will treat to his younger brother. Yes, to his younger brother. And the younger brother will take good care of the children, because he knows it's his blood. He is different from another man who is just stingy. If we are some people who are rich, this guy is just after my wealthy that I have. He's stingy, he just want to steal my money, you want to enjoy the power of everything that my husband had. Now he wants to take it, and then most of those people we have seen, they abuse those things. So it's different from Bevan's brother. That's what happens in our culture. That was the reasoning behind this thing of marrying the sister or marrying the younger brother. So yeah, I think that's it. I think maybe we have tried to talk about the basic things that happens when in our traditional way of marriage in Zimbabwe.
In closing, I just wanted to remark that even if you don't have a marriage certificate, as long as the bride price was paid, you are considered to be someone's wife, or you are considered to be someone's husband if you paid the bride price. So once the bride price was paid, you are someone's husband or you are someone's wife, even though you don't have a marriage certificate. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to emphasize on that.
Okay, thank you so much, Bevan, for all the explanation. Now, in the second episode, I'm going to be showing you how, when you said when you are visiting the in-laws now, or I'm going to my aunt, I'm going to see there is a certain way of dressing that you are supposed to be dressed like. So that's what I'm going to do in the second video. Thank you so much.